Hi guys, so backend developer roadmap. This is the part 1 beginner. Your goal is to build a strong foundation in programming, data structures, and basic API development. In this one, we are not thinking about the deployment, we are not thinking about the higher level thinking. We are just trying to create the building blocks of how a backend developer should start. So let us begin. The time frame is approximately 4 to 6 months, which is flexible depending upon your daily dedication. The number one part is data structures and algorithm. It is essential for problem solving, building logical thinking, and cracking technical interviews. Any company you go to, majority of them will be asking you about data structure and algorithm. They will be asking you about arrays, strings, hash maps, stack queues, linked list trees, graphs, dynamic programming. If you were to practice for 3 or 4 questions every single day, mixing of hard and medium, you will be able to complete this in 3 to maximum 4 months. Free courses and resources have been added to the description. Go and check them out. One of the most common and the most famous of the resource is Triver's DSA sheet. This is very good because they have a lot of questions pre-built and links to them have been given with the explanations. So if you want to go and check it out, you can do that. Now the part 2 is programming language and version control. This is a primary tool for backend development and managing code changes. Now what I did was I started my journey with Node.js because for me it was very easy to do given that I was already doing a little bit of front end. It is great for quick API building, understanding asynchronous programming. Then I shifted to Java because a lot of companies like Flipkart, where I am working right now, and any of the companies like Oracle have old legacy codes in Java. So this is very great for that. Now, if you want to explore Go, you can also do that, which is a very great programming language, especially for concurrency and high performance applications. Now you have to do is only pick one. Either you go with Java, you go with Python, you go with Node.js, or you go with Go. What you need to learn is various data types, control flow, functions, OOPS principles. Now, this is where your DSA will help you. You remember the things you read about like array list, maps, and all. Whenever you're trying to build an application, some of these things will be applicable. Now, depending upon the complexity of what you are building, that changes. Then you need to know about asynchronous programming, which is callbacks, promises, async await, especially for Node.js. Because what you cannot assume is whatever you're trying to get from somewhere, it will be there available to you at the moment. There has to be a delay. This is where asynchronous programming will help you a lot. Then comes the most important part of any development, version control, which is Git and GitHub. You have to learn about commits, branches, merge pull request. You have to use rebases. You have to understand what is happening, how to merge multiple branches, and there will be fuck ups happening. You have to make sure how to undo them. Now, of course, free resources and the YouTube links for each of them have been added in the description. Go and check them out. Then comes part 3, which is Backend Framework. Now that we have decided on which language we are going to use, we need to understand how we are going to build the whole thing. Simplifies API development, handles common tasks like routing, middleware, and error handling. This is what a backend framework will do for you. Now, what you need to learn is about REST API principles, HTTP methods, status codes, routing, middleware, request response handling, and error handling and input validation. This is very, very basic thing to do. Imagine if you're trying to create something known as user login, right? If the email is actually an email, this comes under input validation. Now you have to pick one stack. If you're doing Node.js, you have to use Express. For Java, there is Spring Boot. For Python, there is Fast API. For Go, there is Jet. Now, of course, the resources for them also and YouTube channels have been added in the description. So go and check them out and start making a list for your own thing. And just tick mark what you have already done. And then came the fourth and the most important part, which is the database. Any application without a database will not work. It stores, retrieves, and manages your application data. Now, people might say you need to learn about one database, maybe SQL, maybe no SQL, either relational or non-relational. But I say you have to do them both. Depending upon what kind of API or application you are trying to create, any one of them will be necessary. So, if you want to do collections, documentation, you need a flexible schema, go for MongoDB. If you want tables, columns, you want asset properties, you want indexes, joins, transactions, you need to do Postgres or MySQL or a relational database. Now, what the hell were these concepts? What do you even mean by transaction, indexes, joins? You have to go and learn about databases. You will understand what these things are. These are very, very important. When you will dive deep into what database is, you will understand a lot of issues that will happen in real life but does not happen. Again, the free links have been added to the description. Now when you have done all of this, you are now ready for a basic development like user authentication. You should be able to do notes app, you should be able to do blog API, basic to-do list. I'm not telling you to create a front end. Go with ChatGPT, tell it to create a dummy front end in pure HTML. You have to provide the APIs for it, localhost APIs. Then you will be able to learn. If you want to do a basic deployment, you can use render railbase. I will provide the links. Now that you have done all of this, once you have built 2-3 backend APIs, you have solved 200 plus DSA problems, you are ready for the next step, which is intermediate stage.